Namo Namaste Gurave Mahatmane Vimukta Sangaya Saduttamaya Nityadvayananda Rasaswarupine Bhumne Sada Paradayam Budhamne Namaste Namaste Vibho Vishwamurte Namaste Namaste Chidanandamurte Namaste Namaste Tapoyogagamya Namaste Namaste Shruti Jnanagamya Namaste Namaste Tapo Yogagamya Namaste Namaste Shruti Jnanagamya Hari Om Tat Sat Jai Guru. What are we supposed to discuss? Either question or you want some topic to be discussed, that is also okay. That is also a question if you have a query. But you sit, can ask. Mic should be this one.
Jai Guru Swamiji, my question is, during our working time, we also want to develop other qualities like being studious in order for us to succeed in our chosen field. How do I promote
Tell me again, what are the things you are saying? One is...
being studious, being hardworking, and also having a quality of wanting to do better in our field without having ambition. How do I go about getting this sort of qualities built in me to grow and flourish?
Anybody else? You have anything to ask? If it is related, you ask now. Otherwise, after I have finished, you can ask. If it is connected to this, you can ask now, so that it will be easier for me to reply. Your name is Pavitra, no? Huh? Sometimes you go to heaven and sometimes you drop from heaven. You attended one retreat, no? No, finally did not come. No, you did attend. Jamshedpur you had attended. Then vanished. But still. So I will answer his question first. Anand, Dr. Anand. See, when you say that without ambition, how we can improve in the quality of sincerity, hard working, etc. If you don't have ambition, then automatically what will you do? You will do whatever is natural for you to do. The other day also we discussed about it. It is because of ambition we do something other than my natural stream. If you don't have ambition, then you will do whatever is your job. And while doing, if you don't ambition, you will automatically do it sincerely to the best of your day. Because why don't we do anything properly? It is because the mind is always distracted by our desire, and associated with that anxiety, anxiety of not having the desire fulfilled, or if your desire is fulfilled, anxiety of losing this. All these things come because of, we call it ambition, call it desire. Desire is simpler, ambition is a little more stronger. So even suppose we always say that in the ashram, serving is a big job. Serving means, particularly I am meaning annakshetra, that is food serving to the guest, those who come. It's a very noble and important part of the ashram. Looking after the feeding of people who come to the ashram. Whoever he is. Many people, they have food in their own home. So why should they take food in the ashram? Maybe they have come to see and the time is that, so they are taking. And another will be that they are very much they have a thought that the taking food in the ashram is, it's a piety, it's a pure or something like that. Some religious or spiritual feeling will be there. Other than that will be some people might be there, sometimes those who do not have food also, them also you have to feed. Irrespective of anything, when we are serving food, where should be our attention? Can you tell me? That is the want of the need of the person who is taking food, is it not? The liking of the person who is needing food. There will be two things. One is the quantity needed, another will be the preference of that person, liking and disliking. So if he is a person who is regularly taking food, that means resident or visitor or so, then should we not in 1, 2 or 3 days we know his likes and dislikes, that this food he takes this much, this he takes so much and all that. If he is a new person, from the face, from the finished items, we should be able to have an idea what he is liking, what he is not liking. And with that we will try to serve, and we will ask also that shall I give it, like that. But what we find is that mostly we fail in doing it properly. What kind of failure? Many kinds of failures. Suppose there are 2, 3 vegetables are there. One is A, that is already there in the plate quite much. Maybe I am serving A. Other 2 servers are serving B and C. This person B or C is over, but A is still lying so much. But we go and again ask him, and again give it also. Sometimes we irritate them also. That don't you see that so much is there? Why are you asking again and again? Because it takes away the peaceful eating. It is already there on the plate. Where is the question of serving again? There means sufficient quantity is there. Moreover, he may need something else. So at that point, if we go, we can ask him that, do you need something, this one or that one, and give the instruction to the service center, the table, that serve rice to him or serve this. But invariably we find people fail in it. Can you tell me why they fail? Can we say that means he is not doing the work sincerely, or he is not hardworking? He may do a lot of work. That is not the real hardworking. He is not applying he may be moving around, seeing everything, but he is not applying his mind and intelligence fully in the work. That means he is not sincere in his work. Now in most of the cases you will find, where is his mind while he is serving this? While he is serving, his mind is not there in serving. He might be thinking of something else happened that day or will happen that day. His mind is worried about so many things can happen. Or maybe that day the behavior with the Guru has not been proper. Guru told something, the mind is depressed or the mind is scattered about it. That means the mind is not given to the work we are doing. That is why the ultimate stage of spirituality is Yatra yatra mano yati tatra tatra samadhayaha. Yatra yatra mano yati tatra tatra samadhaya. We always are aspiring for samadhi, sitting, and where the mind gets completely dissolved and all. We have our ideas about it. But the ultimate level is called sahaja samadhi. That means natural samadhi. What is that? Whatever we are doing, the mind is completely fixed to that. He doesn't have to practice any other samadhi. If we are serving, the mind is fully on the people taking food. What are the items serving? Is there anything impurity in the material we are serving? Is there already some water in the glass, and if you pour more, the glass will overflow? That also we sometimes make mistakes. So, whatever we are doing, the mind remains fixed. For a knower, it happens. Why? Because a knower is one who has no desires. He has understood the truth of the world, that by desiring something, even if we get that, I am not going to become fulfilled. The fulfillment lies within. The happiness lies within. This is a fundamental discovery which makes a person winner. Winner of the whole world. He is not subservient to the world anymore, because he doesn't want anything from the world. So such a person, his mind will not be distracted at all, because he doesn't want anything from anywhere. Whatever is done, whatever he has to do, he is doing. He will be fully given to that. So is that not the pinnacle of sincerity in whatever we do? So suppose you are talking about studying. In studies, our mind will always be distracted by will I get the first division or first rank, or will I fail in this subject, or if I don't get the proper marks, I may not get the job. What shall I do? These are the anxieties which are chosen. This is another secret, that if you really suppose I have to study, I don't have the option, then we can love the subject and go deep into it. You will find that that subject is giving you the joy of it. In our during our postgraduate studies, we had statistical mechanics. In physics course, statistical mechanics is an important day. Most of the students will not study it, because it is very abstract and it needs very hard work to break through the fundamental conceptions. There is some block in that, so people will avoid. So I also avoided. Then, and class also, whatever the teacher says, I would not be able to understand anything. So one day it struck me that if I am so much averse to this, and this is a good subject, I know that if you do research, it will be very much important. Why not try to understand the fundamentals of this subject? It just struck. So I took the books from the library. I went to the British Council Library also, where a very good book written by a very great author was available. About 6-7 thick books, maybe more than that, collected and started studying. Taking from the fundamentals of it from some good lectures, and lectures means books where the lectures are recorded. I stopped going to the college because I cannot distract my mind. I was studying that subject for about, I don't remember exactly, by about 15 days, day and night I was studying statistical mechanics. And after 3-4 days, I started making some notes of the difficult portions, so that all the steps I can, it's very mathematical also, all the steps I can work, so that next time when anybody reads, then from the notes, you will be able to understand. Wherever I had difficulty in understanding, I wrote down what I understood after going deep into it, so that anybody can know the subject from there. It is filling the gaps of the books in a way. It so much so, by the end of the 14 days or so, I started feeling almost nausea, bodily, because constantly, day and night, I am with the subject. And then I understood that it's done. Further, I need not study this. And it became so easy and it was so comfortable for me. And because the students, they don't study it, they started coming to me to explain and all. And that gave me all the more joy because the questions you have to reply. I am not a teacher at then, I was a student. But whatever they ask, and it took me deeper and deeper into it. And discovering certain things. Suppose one reply had been done in 3 pages of mathematical deduction and all. I found out some method where in 2 lines it will come. That is, you take another result and apply it here, that theorem, and it comes. So these are some very, you get so much of joy when you can solve a problem which takes about 3-4 pages of mathematics. You solve it in 2-3 lines. It is like so much of a discovery joy. So it became my most favorite subject. How did it happen? I disliked it most. Even in ashram also, I told this many times, people know about it, that I disliked construction like anything. Not that I cannot put my mind, I was good in drawing and all also, but construction I disliked anything. So much so that when my father was constructing the building in Jamshedpur, a few days he was very busy and he asked me to go, and at that time our school final was over. So I had a 3 months gap, and those 3 months I was using to study the Feynman lectures on physics. It's a excellent book on physics, where you can study what will be taught in your postgraduate level. You can study in school and you will be able to understand, because the subject has been treated from the fundamental level. So I started, because father I had to help, so I started going there, and daytime I would be staying there. After 2-3 days, when father went there, the chief mason said that don't send this boy anymore. He comes here, he lies on the charpai, there will be some resting area, lies there and reads books. How can he find out anything wrong here? And he showed my father that, see, the masons have missed one line of bricks here, it has gone bent like this. And this boy was sitting here, he did not see anything. Actually, the fault is his. He is the chief mason. But he put all the blame on me. So father said that you don't have to go anymore, you remain at home. So this was my experience of construction. Then further I was never interested. When we were in Calcutta, father wanted to make a house for us, so that we don't have to stay in a rented house. We declined, because I don't want to get into all those things. We are paying some rent and listening to some complaint from the landlord. It's fine. Your own house means it's a hell of a so many troubles will be there. And this construction, again, I have to look into it. I have always been, what shall I say, I don't want to get into trouble in anything except studying. So now when we came to the ashram, first we came as a visitor for a few days, then again after 6 months we came as a visitor for 1 month or so. Then again after 6 months we came and joined the ashram at that time. So after 1 day or 2 days had passed, Swamiji was standing in the garden and I was passing through. Swamiji said, see, you have now come. Many days we have not done any construction at all. Let us start doing something. First was the garage for the car. It started with that. The garage was not there. There was thatched something was there when we went. So it started with the garage. Then Mataji passed away. So Mataji's Samadhi Mandir that we have, it went to that. Then it went to Kananam guest house, where all of you, when you come to the ashram, you stay. Then it went on to the before Kananam, Kananam. Then by the time the temple construction had already started, the temple means remaking the hill. It was a huge affair. And then reconstructing the temple. There are also many things we had to plan. Jnana Belan, it has fallen. Do we have to do anything? Here? Then our Annakshetra in the ashram, then CIRD Delhi, then CIRD Jamshedpur, one after another. So after about 30 years or so, I said that a boatman will pass his rudder to somebody else. I have nobody to pass it over the construction business to anybody. But I have done this construction, whatever we have done in the ashram or related to ashram, to the maximum possible of my ability. Extremely sincere. I am not boasting. It is the sincerity. As far as sincerity is concerned, whatever I could do best. And it is not the best means in various ways. We did not have much money. We have to do it within our means. We cannot be miserly also, because the people who would stay there, facilities have to be there. It should not be a dingy place. So taking into account a very wholesome picture of everything, we had to do it. And as far as physical austerity is concerned, in concreting, we used to go hitting the concrete and mixing it properly. Those days, vibrators were not used there. And our workers will do, but they will not do it properly. So they are doing it. But behind that, when I go, I find that the whole mass is not moving in the manner when the mixture is proper. So I would go on hitting it. So it is not only planning the whole thing, architectural planning also, if not full, partly. Then to save money, it is very surprising. I myself will feel very surprised that night I was mostly not sleeping, thinking of this. And our Swamiji also was like that. In sleeping, he will go on doing like this. That is the structure he is thinking of. So the rods which will be put on the roof, it was a concrete sloping roof. So I had designed with color pencil and all how a rod will be cut, where it will be cut and how it will be put, so that no rod pieces will be wasted. They can be cut in various manners. Generally they will cut recklessly, and many of the short pieces will lie here, that they will put. Whenever you are joining, you lose so much of double lay. So everything, all the measurements, everything, it was all in the drawing. Drawing means drawing done by me especially. And with lot of effort. Suppose for the temple, we had to, those days, those stairs, those who have seen now, those steps were not there. It was just through the forest you have to pass through. The water was not there. We had to pump about 150 feet or more, the water. So 3 stages, we have to go down to the lowest level, put the 10 horsepower motor on, then come to the medium level, where we had another 5 horsepower motor or so. When that tank is full, we have to put on that. Then go to the temple level, which is at the top of the hill, and there you have to put the small pump which will put the water into the tank which was placed there. And by the time you have done all the 3 steps, suddenly the KSEB power goes. KSEB means Kerala Electric Supply Board. It was notorious those days. And if one phase goes, means the motor will not work. It was a 3-phase motor. So after going on the top, within a few minutes or half an hour, the power goes. So I used to lie on the heap of sand and all, in that. Sometimes in the night, the whole day power is not there. Next morning, Swamiji will come to work with about 100 people, 100 workers. So before that, the water has to be stored. We knew all these things, and you have to do it. Otherwise, next day the work will be lost. And Swamiji used to work throughout with them, with the pipe, wetting the earth. The clay has to be properly kneaded. If you leave it to the workers, they will not do it properly. The hill may slip. So Swamiji used to do it. You may find the photographs also where Swamiji is kneading the earth with them and holding the pipe and all. Otherwise also he was fully engaged with them. Moreover, to inspire them, he would go with the cap and the stick and the whistle. They are supposed to come at 8 o'clock. From 7:30 he will start whistling from the hilltop, so that from all of the village 100 people come and join him. So I had to keep the water ready for that. Many of the days it has happened that I lie on the sand bed for quite some time. Maybe power again comes back at about 1 o'clock in the night. Again go down that 180 feet or so down to the lowermost level, switch on the pump, come to the middle level, switch on that and come back there. It may happen twice also in a night that you have to go again. One night I remember it happened that it was almost early morning. No? When I was coming down from the hill, I found that Swamiji and Ma both are coming with torchlight. That what has happened to the boy? Like that. So what I am saying is that I disliked the work, but now I cannot say disliked in that sense. I was trying to avoid, but when I had to do it, automatically I did it to the maximum sincerity. I did not want there was no ambition for having a very good guest house or a Samadhi Mandir. Nothing was there. Even about the temple, I had no feeling at all. Swamiji wanted to do something, I am doing that. And when it is being done, how best can we do it that was the only thought. Even elephant has to go up the steps. So how will we make the steps? What should be the tread and what should be the height and all? Because elephant cannot climb if the inclination is not proper. We have to go and find out an elephant doctor. The first person refused, he doesn't know. Finally we found out a doctor who could give us the slope necessary for the steps for the elephant. And then only we went ahead with that. Otherwise we could have done something and next day when function festival the elephant is not able to climb, what would have happened? So it is not that we wanted something great or something, not like that. Whatever we could do to the best of our capability those days, we have done it. It is only happened, if you ask me, it was because there was no ambition. There was no desire also. I never wanted to do anything at all. And Swamiji also never wanted to do anything, but in another manner, in his mind, he felt that we should do something for the temple. Or people are coming, we should make a guest house. This thought is coming in Swamiji's mind. And for me, it was Swamiji wants something to be done, so I was doing. I even cannot call it Guru Bhakti. In my personal case, I won't call it Guru Bhakti also. You may say that I had lot of Guru Bhakti or I might not have had. That Swamiji has to say. But for me it was not really Guru Bhakti. Whatever had to be done, whatever Swamiji wanted to do, in doing the full sincerity, if we call, or effort is there, everything to the extent possible for me was applied. It was only because I did not have any desire. If I had some other desire, I would have thought that by making this hill, what will happen? And it is a religious temple. We are not concerned with that at all. If you make the temple, make the hill, what is going to happen? Let me study Vedanta and become a self-realized person. Will it not have? All self-realized persons are lazy because of that. Because of their ambition for self-realization, they are lazy. They think that self-realization is something he has to get from the sky. And for that they don't do anything. It's absolutely going opposite to the self-realization. Whatever comes, whatever to be done, he was doing. That is, does it answer your question? So, your first point you said when we do not have any ambition. Actually, only when we do not have any ambition, you will be able to do to the utmost sincerity, whichever is possible for your situation and your personality. So actually that is the best fruition of our personality, when we do not have desire. We become natural. Just like a flower, when it blossoms, the flower doesn't have any desire. Every day, every other flower in the same tree, it is blossoming in its own natural manner. Otherwise it will not be beautiful as it is generally. A small grass flower, looking at the dahlia or the rose, big rose, fragrant rose, it doesn't think that, oh, I am small, nobody is caring for me, let me become the rose. Then the whole nature would have got completely spoiled. The grass flower trying to become a rose. Neither he will become beautiful grass. Actually this beauty also, it is because of our mental defect. that the rose is more beautiful, the bigger flower is more. It is all because of our desire for something big, something this, something that. Otherwise, the grass flower is not less beautiful at all. It is equally, everything in nature is equally beautiful. So it is that when we understand that for happiness we don't have to get anything from the world, and the world, anything from the world is never going to make me happy. That anybody can understand. You look at the people who have become the richest in the world or the most famous in the world, have they become happy by that? It never happens. So when we really discover that the happiness is within, and we can never be happy by getting anything from the world, then we stop running after anything from the world. And then only we become the natural flowering takes place, which in Bhagavad Gita it is called Swakarma, Swadharma, Swabhava Karma. In 18th chapter it has been discussed in great detail. Is it enough? Any other question? You have anything? No, we have to, don't force out a question or manufacture a question. If you have anything, you say. But you had lot of questions, you said. Why don't you ask? Yesterday you were talking and saying you have a lot of questions.
Yeah, I had a question based on what Puja Swamiji was talking about Nichiketa, because he's mentioned about Nichiketa. Lord Yaman actually asked for the second boon. What do you want for the second boon? But he wants to know the truth of death. And then Lord Yaman replied that if I were to reveal this truth to you, I would go extinct. Oh, okay. The third boon. So I was thinking, if that's the case, why does he exist? Like, shouldn't he, if the truth, because from my understanding, the truth should be all prevailing and all.
Tell me again.
Can you hear me? Okay. So in that, yeah. So he did. He told Nichiketa that if I were to reveal the truth to you, I'll go extinct. Then, yeah, but that doesn't make sense, Swamiji.
Hey, why the volume is changing? No, that statement is Swamiji's humorous. It is not different for me. The I is different from you. It is not so. The I is the witness of all the variety in the world. So, the death is only for the body. The I never dies. That is why our Upanishad says that we are immortally. Oh, you listen. Shinnandu vishvaya amritasya putraha aye dhamani divyani tastu vedahamedam purusham mahantam adityavarnam tamasah parastat tameva viditva atimrityumeti. Knowing that truth, which is our inmost identity, which we are actually, knowing that we overcome death. That means there is no death, means no birth also. There is no birth, no death. The whole changefulness, birth, change, and what is birth and death? They are all part of the change. Everything in this universe is related by causality, is it not? The material world is related by causality. If you burn the book, ash will be produced. So the book is the cause and the ash is the effect. Then that ash you use for manure. Then ash is the cause and the plants growing there, they are the effect. So this is a chain reaction of cause and effect, cause and effect. It is going on in the whole creation. There is nothing other than cause and effect. But the revealer of this creation is the I, who is revealing this causality and everything. He cannot be attained through this cause and effect chain. Then he will also, suppose we say that the God has created the universe. That is, God is the cause of the universe, is it not? Then the question will be that, oh, then who created God? It's a legitimate question. So neither God has created a universe, nor there is anybody who has created God. The universe is as it is. Guna Guneshu Bhagavad Gita discusses quite in detail. It's just a phenomena going on as the universe. So that by this knowledge we come to know that there is no birth for us, no death for us. Then where is Yamaraja? Tell me. Yamaraja is the custodian of death. In the religious fiction, Pauranic fiction, Yamaraja, his work is only to deal with birth and death. Actually death only. So where are the souls which have died, and collect them and bring, all these fictional ideas are there. No? So this Kathopanishad, it does away with all those things. It says that know that identity and not after the body falls. Here in this life, when the body is there on earth, you have to know, because the intelligence is part of nature. This has to arise in your intelligence that there is no birth, no death at all. For you, not for the body. Body will get born, body will die, body will undergo change. You are the witness of all those changes. So that way Swamiji said that Yamaraja will not tell Nachiketa, because he has to tell them that I am not existing. That no king will like to be non-existent. It's a humorous way of putting it. The purpose is, why in the Upanishad it has been said is that as long, it's a great secret and the truth, as long as you are looking anything from the world, this truth is not for you. Because you consider yourself to be small, separated from all others. This is what I am, and I want to know this knowledge. But the knowledge is, you are not small. You are in everywhere, everybody, it's the same Atma everywhere. So that our trying to have any gain, as long as it is there, we are not fit to know the truth. So Nachiketa, Yamaraja, the teacher in Kathopanishad, is trying to see whether Nachiketa is fit for the knowledge. If he is not fit for the knowledge, then can he be given the knowledge? He will misuse it. It is handled by nature itself. As long as we are not fit for the knowledge, we don't have it also. When you are fit, you become known automatically. Does it mean anything? Makes sense. But it is a humorous way of putting that Yamaraja did not say, because in that case Yamaraja will become non-existing. But after testing, there the great statement of Nachiketa is there. After talking for long, listening to Yamaraja, asking questions and all, finally when Yamaraja was about to give him the truth, but still trying to say this way, that way, this has to be done, that has to be done, then Nachiketa makes a statement, which is not from the teacher, from the student. Shvobhava mattasya yadanta kaitad sarvendriyanam jarenti tejaha api sarvam jeevitam alpameva tavaiva bahas tava nritya gite. This is a very great statement of Kathopanishad, but not from the teacher, from the student, from Nachiketa's mouth. It shows the fitness of Nachiketa. Because Yamaraja started alluring him by giving him all that people can get from this world. He gave him the whole, I will give you the kingship of the whole kingdom. You have anything you like. Oh, you think that you will not be able to enjoy for a long time? I will give you as much as ayus, that means the life span you want. I will give you that. You enjoy for thousands of years. All these things he has said could not destabilize Nachiketa. Then he started bringing in items from the heaven. These are all allegorically stated. That is the chariot, diamond-studded chariot, where musicians are playing, dancers are dancers are dancing. So many things are there. Nachiketa, you take this, they will serve you, they will do this, do that, etc. The chariots and all. There is also some truth in it. So far he was saying that I will give you this, I will give you that. Suppose somebody says that I will give you 1 crore of rupees. You may say that no, I don't want it. But when the 1 crore of rupees in hand and say you take it, it is yours. Is there not a change? That is, one is imaginary, I will give you. Another is right in front. So the Upanishad changes the tone. That so far it was I will give you, I will give you. Now he is bringing in, and here are they, here are they. You take them, you get them for your service. Then Nachiketa feels that, Arey, this man will never stop like this. I am not interested in anything in the world, I have said so many times. So he comes out with this statement. He says, Shvaha abhavaha. That means tomorrow also, which Shvah means tomorrow. Abhava means which will not be there. Mattasya yadantakaitad. O Antaka, O Yamaraja, in this world I know very well that everything is short-lived. A Bhattavriksha may live for thousands of years also. Still it will die one day. You know this. And by enjoying all these things, whatever Yamaraja you are giving me, Sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha. That we are, how are we sensing the world? With our sense organs? Is it not so? And we are enjoying the world or suffering from the world also because of our sense organs. But if we overindulgence, normally nobody wants suffering, but the enjoyment we get cling to. We start clinging to. So if we overindulge in the sensory enjoyments, what will happen to our sense organs? They will lose their power. They will get depleted. Suppose night you don't sleep. You have gone to a party and there you are dancing, singing. And sleep is coming. Will you not at one time fall asleep? In sleep, the sense organs again, they get regenerated. Because in sleep, we are in the lap of the soul. Actually, the Atma regenerates them. Whatever it is. The question is that if you go for overindulgence, they will deplete. That is why by seeing the computer nowadays, all the boys are losing their eyesight. We also lose. Because up to 11 o'clock or so, we are not able to get out of the screen. There's so many emails to be replied, so many WhatsApp to be replied. So we have to remind us that no, now leave it, tomorrow again we will see. Now if at all read some book or something, not the screen anymore. But by overindulgence, all our sense organs, they lose their power. Sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha. The whatever brilliance they have, they all will go by the enjoyment you are giving for me. Third line, api sarvam jivitam alpameva. This is a great statement. This alpa means insufficient. It is not just small. It means insufficient. He says that for anybody, the lifespan is insufficient. What does it mean? Yamaraja has offered him 10,000 years of life. He says, Yamaraja, you might have given me 10,000 years. That is also insufficient. Why? You look into the people, a person 100 years old also will not like to die. He still wants to enjoy or get something from the world or to become self-realized, whatever. That's a desire is still there. So as long as, suppose a 10-year-old boy, he has some desire. So he will not like to die. Is it not? A 90-year-old person also, if he has desire, he would not like to die, leave the world. If he lives for another 10,000 years also and still he has desire, the 10,000 year lifespan will not be sufficient for him. Are you able to understand this? So the fulfillment of the life, sufficiency, fulfillment means when you feel that I am sufficient, I have lived enough, I can go now. That is the ultimate. So that fulfillment, that sufficiency in life, it is not determined by the span of life, Yamaraja, but by the desirelessness of the mind. Nachiketa is pointing out his teacher. As long as desire is there, whatever the lifespan, he will not be satisfied. So you are giving me 10,000 years of lifespan, what shall I do with that? If I still have desire after 10,000 years also, I would like to have more. So the fulfillment comes from the desirelessness. And when will the desirelessness come? When I know the truth, when I have become fulfilled, because he has shown that he did not have any desire for anything from the world. He only wanted to know discover the truth. So when he discovers the truth, if it is that day itself, he becomes fulfilled. After that, if the lifespan remains, he will live. If death comes, he will die. Do you get? It's a natural life. When the death comes, he is equally happy. If he has to live, he is equally happy. There's no problem at all in living also. Whatever comes to be done, he does. If there is nothing to be done, he just sits quietly. If there is something to be done, he does. If it is successful, fine. If it is unsuccessful, I have done my best till it is unsuccessful. What can be done? It is such a simple and easy way the spirituality tells us. And this is the great statement of Nachiketa. After giving these three statements, that is, everything is futile, Shvabhava, that means tomorrow they will not be there. If we indulge more, they will all deplete our sense organs. The third is, the fulfillment does not depend on the lifespan. A person will be happy when he is free of desires. That is the happiness, ultimate happiness. So by increasing the lifespan, nobody becomes happy. It does not depend on the lifespan. And the fourth statement is, Tavaiva Vahas Tava Nritya Gite. Oh Yamaraja, whatever these chariots and the musicians and the dance uses you have brought, let them remain with you, Yamaraja. You enjoy them. Nachiketa is not interested in all these things. Such a great statement it is. In the next verse, the first line also is very important, which is quoted everywhere. Na vittena tarpaniyo manushyo. The Manushya, the people, cannot be, tarpaniya means tripti. Tripti means satisfaction. Can never be satisfied by wealth, vitta. This is another, the next verse, first line. Why did I say this? You were asking about Nachiketa, Yamaraja, but the main crux of this is this. Then Yamaraja becomes overwhelmed by Nachiketa. He says, oh Nachiketa, you are a great seeker. More and more disciples like you, seekers like you may come to us. You are a Satyadhriti. This great word is used there. Nachiketa, you are a Satyadhriti. That means one who retains the truth. Once the truth is given, it should not go away from us. If we are full of desires, even if the truth is given, you will not be able to retain it. At that time you may feel that, oh, I have known the truth. Next day again you will be in the same mess. So Satyadhriti means once it is given, that is the real receptivity of a disciple. Yamaraja. That means Yamaraja also did not have enough proper disciples. It's not only our Swamiji. He also did not have enough of proper receptive devotees. So he said that more and more disciples like you may come to us. You know, Ramakrishna Dev used to go on the rooftop and call from there, oh, the pure brahmacharis, all, you come, you come. The gurus will have always that insufficiency. But it is not insufficiency in the usual sense. They are happy with whoever is there. Any disciple, whether he forgets or doesn't forget, doesn't matter. He goes on doing his job. It is there in our Upanishads also. Amanandu. Tumi jana shloka? Amanandu brahmajarinaha. It is in Taittiriya Upanishad. If anybody knows, can say. That in the Upanishad it is there that you come, brahmacharins, you come. That is, the guru is calling, the teacher is calling. Because whom will he give the knowledge? Unless some proper receptacle is there. The other day Swamiji was saying that suppose this knowledge, it is coming down to us from how many thousands of years also we do not know. And how has it come? It is a knowledge, living knowledge. It is not from the book. So the Guru has to light the lamp in the disciple's heart. That it is the Guru who has to institute in the disciple. And the disciple, by living the knowledge, the flame becomes brighter and brighter in him. At one point, not one point, but slowly he gets completely engulfed by the flame, which was lit by Guru in the Diksha or initiation. When he gets engulfed by the flame of that, he understands the power of that. Then he becomes fit for passing it over to light other lamps in the next generation of the disciples. So he lights the lamp in the next generation of the disciples. They pursue the sadhana, and that light becomes brilliant, more and more brilliant. Finally, they get engulfed by the flame. So they pass on to the next generation. Like that, how many thousands of generations have gone? This lamp has been passed over from one generation to the other generation. Now, if you can think of a time when there was no Guru or not a single Shishya, Guru might be there, but another Shishya is not there to take the lamp, to take the torch to the next generation, then it would have been lost. Similarly, suppose the student is there but the teacher is not there, then also it will be lost. So there had always been some teachers and some proper receptacle disciples, so that this knowledge is even now available to us after how many thousands of generations. It's a knowledge to be lived, it's a living flame. Why did I say? How is it related to your question?
Like from what I understood, is because everything is bound by transitory nature of the world. So if we were to know the truth, then all of it wouldn't exist.
All of it?
All of it wouldn't exist. Because we think we are bound by birth. Like even for me...
No, it is wrong. We will not exist, how can it be? That your identity will shift from the wrong egoistic identity of your small personality to an universal identity. That I am not different from that, I is one or even transcendental. Not that it's just the opposite. Not that I will not exist, but I alone will exist. That I in which the whole universe is appearing to be. There is nothing other than that. The universe is not there, but I am there. That I is not the material I. So our identity shifts from the wrong, egoistic, small identification, the personality, to the real, universal, transcendental identity. Is it clear? So you were taking the backward step. I will not exist. We will not make you non-existent. All the Gurus trying to make everybody eternal, immortal, not non-existent. We are immortal, we don't know that. That's all. And the Jiva, I am asking him again and again, why did your parents keep your name Jiva? Your name should have been Brahman. Jiva, you will always remain small Jiva. So you have to know that Jiva Brahmaivana Paraha. Jivo Brahmaivana Paraha. The Jiva itself is Brahman, nothing other than that. So that you become Brahman. Anything else? She is a mic holder. Nirmala, you have anything?
So are you saying that...
Give the mic to
question. But are you saying then that I am them, they are me?
No, not in that sense. When you know your identity, which is you will better understand perhaps that the consciousness that we are. Actually, whatever we are seeing, the world, unless it is revealed in our consciousness, will we know the world? Finally, the world has to appear in our consciousness, is it not so? So, when the whole world, of which your body, mind, personality is also a product of nature, your personality is a product of nature, it is as minutest, it's a minuscule part of nature. That whole nature, including your body, mind, personality, is appearing in that consciousness, is it not so? The world you are knowing as external. Yourself also you are knowing your body, mind, personal as part of the external world. When that world is appearing in that consciousness which you refer to as I, then can you call that I is in the body or the body is in that I? The whole world is in that I. It is so the appearance of the world is in the I. In that sense, you are everywhere. Not that when you say that they are I and I am they, you are thinking of them as their body, mind, personality, not their real identity. When you consider the witness identity in them, then it is everywhere it is the same, because they are also part of the nature which is appearing in the consciousness. Not clear.
Real them.
Huh?
I was referring to the real them. So
If it is real I,
is the real everything just one?
it is not even one, it is transcendental, because when you are talking about one, you have the concept of the two and many in your mind. There is no division, even the subject-object division also will not be there. It is transcendental, is the nearest word we can use. When we say one, it means it is not two, it is not many, but the whole multiplicity, the infinite variety is appearing in that. Nothing is excluded. That is why it is referred to as Purnam. Everything is included there. And it is something more also. I have been able to complicate it, make it more complex for you.
Why do you choose to complicate it?
No, seeing your face, I felt that
no,
it was not clarified. But
no, because when we tell stories and allegories, everything is beautiful. But then when we try to break it down like this, it takes it away from us. I feel like, why complicate it?
So it is complicated for you.
It doesn't feel complicated until you complicate it.
It is the simplest thing, but because our mind is convoluted, complicated, we see the straight thing as convoluted. Actually, it is the simplest thing. With a simple mind, if you take, everything is fine.
Why can't we make it as simple as like the Beatles? All you need is love.
You tell me then what is simple? The simplest way of spirituality is you don't become selfish. You don't look for selfish gain. Try to love everybody, embrace the whole world. And wherever the selfishness or constriction of the mind is coming, try to remove that.
I think that's
I think that's a much more worthwhile message to put out there than
So
talk
that is
about,
also part of the message. You can take it in that manner. But when you quarrel with others, it has to be remembered that I have to love my enemy. I have to love my boss, although I don't like him, but I have to love him. So all these behaviorally become very simple when you have this complicated, so-called complicated, simple knowledge. Then it becomes realizable, practicable.
Yeah, maybe it's like behavior therapy. Yeah? Do it.
It is
Do
the
it, be
knowledge
it.
to be lived,
Yeah.
not to be mugged
just
up.
be it. We don't have to.
It's the knowledge to be
Understand.
lived, not to be by-hearted or mugged up. So you try it, meeting some people you dislike. First you start your experiment with that. Whom do you dislike most?
Hardly anyone. I like everyone.
Very nice. Then whom do you love most?
Sometimes me.
But from you cannot go away. Suppose you love somebody most, different from you, then I would have asked that leave him and see whether you are all right with that. But if you are loving most yourself, then it is better you know what you are really, then that itself will be the ultimate. Anything else? Anybody? Jiva? Hey, I can give it. You're trying to run out of the examination hall.
Got time? Okay, I hope I'm not misquoting you. Earlier you mentioned about being desirelessness.
Being desire free.
Yeah, desire free. And you mentioned that to want to know the truth, only to want to know the truth. But that itself is a desire.
Initially that is a desire. It's very good question. Initially that desire to know the truth, that should take you away from all other desires. That is, suppose you have a desire for many things in the world. So when the desire for truth grows in you very intensely, then you will find that such a person will not be interested in anything of the world. So the desire for truth will remove all other desires. And then he will understand that this desire for truth also has to be dropped. Then he becomes really knower of the truth. Desire free. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Ramakrishna Deva used to say that you have got lot of thorns. He had gone somewhere in the leg and all. You take one thorn to pluck those thorns from your body or from your dhoti, from your cloth. When you have removed all the thorns, will you keep your thorn with which you have removed the thorns? Throw that also and become free. But it is very important to grow in the desire for truth, because that will clean you up from all other desires. That is necessary. If you say that no, desire for truth also will have to be left, so I will not leave any, I don't want any desire for truth. I will live with the other desires also. That will not work. Anything else you have? In practice, spirituality means being extremely simple, straightforward, loving, selfless person. Selfless means the small s self, not the capital S self, Atma. That is the simplest way of understanding. In all the Upanishads as well as Bhagavad Gita, you will find it is speaking, all those will be speaking about Atma, Brahman, these, that, many things. But at the end, it will speak only of desirelessness, free of desire. Why? Because desire means you will not be able to become simple, straightforward, loving everybody. The desire will not allow you to become like that. Even statements that Kathopanishad we were discussing, that it's absolutely towards the end, it says that Yada sarve pramuchyante kamayasya hridishritaha athamatyo amrito bhavati atra brahma samashnute. Yada hridi ashritaha sarve kamaha pramuchyante. All the desires, selfishness, unfulfillment, all are sitting deep in our heart. When all those are completely gone, athamatyo amrito bhavati, the mortal man becomes immortal. When the desires are gone, that itself is the ultimate. The mortal man becomes immortal. Athamatyo amrito bhavati. Atra brahma samashnute. Here itself, in this body on this earth, he attains Brahman. That means he becomes universal. Yada sarve prabhidyante hridayasyeha granthayah athamatyo amrito bhavati etavadhyanushasanam. This is also that end part of Kathopanishad. Hridayasya iha granthayah prabhidyante. Our heart, there is smallness, there is constriction, there is selfishness. Granthi means knots. The knots are making us small, making us limited, making us constricted. When all those knots are cut asunder, they are all released. Athamatyo amrito bhavati. The mortal man, here itself he becomes immortal because he understands his universality. Etabat hi anushasanam. Up to this, the Upanishad says that up to this only what we have learned from our teachers. Anushasanam means following the discipline, giving our teachers whatever we have learned. It is the last of that. That when the knots of the heart, they are removed, when the desires are gone, the mortal man becomes immortal. Becomes immortal means what? It's not knowing that a man becomes immortal. You have to feel the immortality, that I am not touched by any of the changes taking place in the world. The ocean may go dry, there might be thunder, it doesn't affect me at all. The body may die. I am not the body. Okay. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nitya bodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranaumi. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nitya bodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami